Yo, morning guys. Welcome back to the Ahn Rho Project. This is the psychiatric self-therapeutic multimedia project to solve the problems, challenges, and obstacles in our lives, as well as a self-improvement process to reach the highest goals and ambitions that we have set for ourselves as well as those around us. If you'd like a brief introduction, a brief summary into the Ahn Rho Project, how we break it down into domains of life, sub-series, analogies, so on and so forth, including the copyright-free music and the live streaming schedule, you can check that out in the previous live streams for the past 3.5 years, straight to January 2021 and beyond for more updated versions. Now, with that being said, let's dive into the second segment of the live stream, which two things to mention that very quickly at the front. First being that if you are watching this as a playback or as a VOD on Twitch or YouTube or Facebook, you can skip the introduction, even this short abridged version, by just moving forward by about 2-3 minutes. Another thing I want to mention is that in this second segment, which is table of contents, usually I would say that there are about 10 to 11 segments per live stream spread across 3 different phases of the live stream and into 15 minutes. So 3 phases, 11 segments in 15 minutes, so it won't take too much of time. However, we are doing something called a Sol 5.5 override, so system override version 5.5, meaning all the segments are going to be moved all over the place and we're not going to follow any particular rule. The major rule is to just do what works, in which case if the guidelines don't help me accomplish my goals, in which case I would just say that the rule itself says don't follow the rules if it doesn't help you. So that being said, that's the rough breakdown. If you want more disclaimers, understanding what the Ahn Rho Project, again, go back to the previous live streams about being honest on stream, covering the good, the bad, and the ugly, including personal insecurities, baggage, how it covers all aspects of life, finances, relationships, so on and so forth, and material objects. So let's just dive into what we have here before us. Right here, okay, 2 minutes into live stream, what you see is what you get. Take a look on stream. You can see some photographs of that Times bag that you see in the title. We have some media assets. I'm starting to shift things around. You can see also that there's a tape gun here, as well as some quotes from philosophy. And then, of course, you have the branding from the very bottom. Some assets are mine, many of them are not. So there's a shout out to some of those things. So let's do this and remove this kind of burst snapshot. That was the thumbnail. Okay, I'm going to get up a little bit here. Okay, so what do we have? The most urgent thing I want to cover is okay, the first thing actually I should cover is probably the directory, huh? So this is the directory, of course, the left hand side panel, as well as the live stream itself. You see on the title, it says something along the lines of the kitchen being dirty and stuff like that. Dirty kitchen, and then, you know, it's not the best title, but it doesn't fucking matter. On the left hand side panel here, you have roughly 2 to 3 conversations or really just recordings of the entire day I had over the span of maybe 10 hours yesterday, of course, as usual, covering, you know, my interaction at the workplace, just reflecting on that, being able to show gratitude for the people I care about most, who have really done a lot of wrong. You know, I've been a horrible person to a lot of the people I care about most. Another thing I want to mention is that, you know, I'm trying to right my wrongs and stuff like that. There's also some recordings there about things like logistics of using the audio recordings, and as well as some audio recordings I believe of me after work. Now I'm not exactly sure how that goes down, but the main highlight there has to be two things. First of all, that in the morning was a pretty bad morning, but there was a guy there who was out there, like a mechanic. We really trust that man, and he gave me more benefit of doubt than I had originally believed he would. Um, you know, especially believed that I would deserve. I also want to mention that the day previous to that, one of my colleagues who has been like I said, like a godmother to me, and she's really been going through a difficult time now. She's lost one of her beloved. You could say she lost a partner, and it's been a very difficult time for her. But she received some of the resources finally after a month. She didn't open her phone. Obviously, I understood that, and there no pressure on that. But she opened it, and then she's, oh, okay, that I didn't realize this. And she came in, and she was all thankful, and she was like apologizing over not having read my message. And I'm like, you don't have to apologize for that. What? As long as you're doing better, that's all that matters. And like I said, these are amazing, amazing people. I'm so grateful to have them in my life. On that point, so we also mentioned that, you know, talking about media assets in the future, I also want to mention that one of these live streams and will be dedicated to starting to write down my kind of like obituaries and my also thoughts that I want to get out before I die. So this is segment 4 and 5. Obviously, segment 4 is media assets, like the left hand side panels of the voice recording, as well as this live stream itself. and future live streams. So, but also segment 5 in terms of relationships and abstract things that cannot visually show you. So in the future, like I said, I will be noting down all the people important in my life who I really care about and what's so great about them and my experience with them. And generally in a very sort of kind of, it'll be like a case study, or there'll be a lot of confidentiality and private things that I will not speak about. So I'm going to speak about in very vague manners, but at least I'll be able to express my general thoughts and emotions about these people who have contributed so much to my life. So that's some plans for the future, segment 5 and 4. Moving on, let's move into the photography segment. Into the digital segment. So I've just kind of moved ahead of I moved too far ahead of myself here. We have a lot to cover today. So we have two panels here: Stoic Reflections and School of Life London. As usual, like I said, philosophy has played a significant part of my role, such as psychology, pathological psychology, abnormal psychology, as well as philosophy of mind, reasoning, ethics. Same thing with particularly scientific endeavors and observation. So we have here School of Life London today. They don't have anything particular that I can show you in terms of wisdom or anything. It's just kind of like one of the resources. So I'm going to get rid of that. If you do want to check them out, of course, just go on Instagram or YouTube or whatever and find School of Life. I'm not as big of a fan of them anymore as I used to be, because they've gone kind of soft, and my approach most of my life has been very discipline oriented. So think of more conservative, I guess. Take on the left hand side. I know I'm gonna get crucified for saying I'm conservative in 2021, but whatever. Left hand side, still I don't give a damn. Stoic Reflections right here. So life isn't always about doing the things we do; it's about doing things that we have to do. Again, as with all pieces of wisdom, this is not a universal principle, but in many situations, you may find yourself having to remind yourself that you just have to do what you have to do. And this is from the most ruthless David Goggins himself. Now, again, not my stuff, copyright notice. This is Stoic Reflections. Big shout out to Stoic Reflections and School of Life London. So get rid of that, and of course, you can reflect on that a little bit more. Let's move on to media assets now. So we have some stuff here, roughly about let's see, 4 assets here that have to do with photography. So we're moving to equipment and stuff that I have from the university days. So this a package of the Times bag is class 2 item from my domestic guardian, so my paternal predecessor. I don't have a hard time saying he's my father. Very very difficult time saying he's my biological father. 30 decades of very dilapidated. Think of like I said, I've already diagnosed and resolved this, but he's a grandiose narcissistic personality disorder, or NPD, grandiose NPD, and he's done a lot of severe narcissistic types of abuse, such as anger management and domestic violence and all that kind of shit, and financial ruin. That's really caused the whole family's in not really much of a family, but I've managed to resolve that, so I'm very happy to say that he's so much of a changed person now, and so have I done the same thing with my biological mother. Needless to say, there's a lot of baggage here, and that's very iconic. So it's very symbolic. You take a look at the red bag; it's a Times bag from him. But again, it's always this kind of dichotomy. I feel incredibly uncomfortable, as if I owe him debt, and so I'm going to return the bag. Now, there's a bunch of stuff inside, so I'm going to show you on the side here. This is the inside of the bag. So in the interior, we were taking care of this yesterday, and we're continuing on this sort of topic today. Immediately after this ends, we're going to be going right into it. But basically, you see some Kleenex, some boxes, some Glade fresheners, some toiletries, like paper toilet, paper towels, toilet paper, stuff like that, toothbrush. So we're going to be rummaging through all this kind of stuff, returning what we can. That's a class 2 item to them, and class 1 items I purchased myself I'll keep. But that's that. And yeah, here's the last photograph here. This is what it looks like in general. So this is a before picture. We'll compare to this and the after picture. So let's get rid of that. And I want to mention 2 more quick things in terms of photography. This is a gift item, so it's a class 4 item as opposed to class 1, class 2. This is a class 4. It means a gift item I received from my colleagues. I'm going to do some kind of like tattoo engraving about being thankful and gratitude, and I'm going to put my marking on it, like Ahn Rho Project, as well as my actual name on this, and then decorate it up. I will use it sparingly at the workplace, and then this will be the one single souvenir I take from the workplace, aside from the back support belt. Okay, so we're done all that kind of stuff. Right before we dive into phase 3, which is the most active part of the stream, like I said, we're going to cover the bag as well. We need to do some databasing, documentary, and metrics. So this is segment 8, covering fitness. I'm starting to recover. I really am actually getting to work on time. Yesterday was the earliest I've been in almost 10 months. And like I said, my colleagues have been incredibly patient with me. They're incredibly family oriented, and I really severely let them down. I know part of that's just me being harsh on myself, but I know part of it is a reality. It is a reality. So here we have some inventory that I need to actually input here and say, I'm receiving that tape gun. It's like a new inventory, a gift item from them. I want to just put it as like a thankful gratitude log. We have some sleep here, dietetics, nutrition, am I getting enough exercise and stuff, am I going to work on time, punctuality. Overall, things are improving, but not quite enough. And so let's just dive into it now. We're going to let's get into the physical aspect of the stream. Get up, take a look around the room. We have about 4 minutes left. So there's region A, 889. Usually I am covering that kind of stuff. Region D1 here, and D4 here, and region E. Now we're gonna go downstairs, and I'm gonna say that's a new, completely separate region from these ones right here. So I'm gonna say region H is a new place. It's downstairs in the kitchen. We gotta go down there because it's in the title. But basically, region D1 first, cover the stuff here. Region D1, we have some stuff I need to bring to workplace. Obviously, this is gonna be my dinner today. It's gonna be like a single pastry. Same thing with this. So I'm gonna put these two together, and I'm gonna take this off so you can see it first of all. So I'm gonna take these two out. Oh man, it's disgusting. So both of these are going to be my dinner, and then there's going to be just a cartridge that I take out for recycling. So it's going to be a bunch of stuff that I take out for trash as well as to work. That's about it. Move on to the side. Most importantly, this bag. We want to cover this, right? Like we said in the title. There's some stuff on a return. So right now I can see in here, there's this Glade air freshener that is my God, he bought this for me way back in university days. That was like 8 years ago, man. So I'm gonna return this to them, but still is very, because I wrapped it up saran wrap, so it still smells great. It's still useful. We have this Kleenex box. I want to give it to them. Kleenex. I may have purchased this myself, but since I can't tell, again, personal insecurities, so I gotta get rid of that baggage. I see inside here as well. We have these knives. Most likely, yeah, all of these are not. These are theirs. These are class 2 items. Once again, these are class 1, but these are class 2 items because I purchased. These are things I received from them, and I want to return this knife, this bladed knife, as well as this one over here. Now I'm not sure if I want to keep one of these as souvenir because obviously there is some emotional attachment, but overall I'm pretty sure. Sorry, I'll return the 2 blades of knives, the chopsticks, as well as maybe not the chopsticks. That's something that goes way back, like 3 decades, even when I was a little kid. So there's a lot of reminiscence about that, and as well the cartridge. I also want to say that before I leave, there's this, there's just kind of like a stuff here. It's like absorbent towels, reusable. Underneath is a kind of like a face towel that is also class 2. So I need to return this to them as well. I didn't really use it at all. Same thing with these toilet paper rolls. So these toilet paper rolls, these 4 toilet paper rolls, I'm pretty sure I bought some of these myself when I was back in out of town. For 4 years I was out of town, and I bought my own stuff obviously, but I can't distinguish between what is mine and theirs, so I'm gonna give it to them. And then last but not least, we have this what was this toothbrushes. So 3 of these, all this kind of stuff, the paper towels and stuff, all going back to them. And like I said, this kind of stuff is too emotionally sensitive to me or something like that. At least, they're still my guardians, and maybe I'll keep these. What I need to do right now is I have roughly about 40 seconds left. Let's get out of here. Like I said, this time's bag was over here in region E, and what I'm going to do is going to do something really different. We're going to go downstairs to region F. We have literally about 50 seconds left. Alright, so I have the lights on, okay? And what I'm going to do now is in the last 45 seconds, just turn to the side right here. This is the dining room kitchen. And what I want to showcase right here is, like I said, here's a bunch of the stuff that I wanted to get rid of. It's a very dirty kitchen, and well, this is my segment of stuff, all the breakfast materials. But there's some stuff I want to showcase right here, like the prune juice nectar, as well as the thyme, the turmeric, and box of cinnamon. So all this kind of stuff. There's also some vitamins at the back. Basically, this is a before snapshot. I'm going to end the stream in 10 seconds, but this is before, and tomorrow we'll continue off here and clear the stuff we don't need and reorganize everything. So this is our project. I'll continue this tomorrow morning. Gotta get to work. See you then.